Welcome to another week of Deep Dive. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for taking some time out of your week to spend some time with us, learning what's going on behind the scenes at the church. We just had a calendar meeting that took like an hour and a half yesterday because we've entered into that kind of fall season. You know, summer's gone and it's my most favorite time of the year.
Mm-hmm.
The heat is over.
Mm-hmm.
The intense dreadfulness that is summer is gone, and we are into football and fall and all those wonderful things. But we have so much coming up and going on here that we just wanted to make sure we took a few minutes to kind of keep you guys in the loop. So what's been a highlight of something you've seen in the last week or so?
Well, you know, our choir was out for over a year, and it's so good to have them back, and they've been doing great, and they're raring to go. So just if you're interested in singing in the choir, this is the time to start. Everybody's new, everybody's new, and it's just exciting to see. We're starting. Actually, you can start praying for us because we're always starting Christmas stuff, getting ready to as we combine together. Those are gonna be 5 amazing services as we combine together during that time, and we've just been enjoying that, getting together. We're getting together with some leaders next week, gonna get everything cemented for that. But it's been good to have them back.
Yeah, I had to follow the choir, and I was not looking forward to that on Sunday.
Oh,
they did such a good job.
Well, you rocked on Sunday. Oh man, Old Church Choir. If you haven't heard Old Church Choir, maybe we'll have them do it again this week. Because it was great. It was great.
But it was so cool to just hear the chorus of voices in unison, worshiping God together. That was really cool. Something that's really stuck with me is just people stepping in. We've had some people out with illness and different things, and some vacancies in ministries, and people just coming to me and saying, "What do you need? How can I help? How can I get involved?" And just the heart behind that has been really cool for me to see people. The reason they're getting involved is they want to see people's lives transformed for the glory of God. And it's not to serve their own motives. It's to see people transformed. And that's so exciting when people, have that heart to get involved, to see lives transformed. So thank you to those of you who have gotten involved. If you're looking for ways to get involved, we got plenty of things for you to do.
I was on a phone call yesterday with a leader of ours. There were 2 things that happened yesterday that told me God's just incredibly at work. I was on a phone call with a leader, and she made the comment to me. She goes, "Pastor Chuck, people are just stepping in." Yeah. And to hear that from somebody else, because we can say it, but to hear that from somebody else and go, "Wow, God is working." And then yesterday I was, we have a bilingual wedding this week, and it's so much fun. And please pray that I can do well by the church on that one. But I was there with the bride, who doesn't speak English, and one of my friends from Panera came out of the back, realized that, shout out to Davisha, and came out and said, "Hey, Pastor Chuck, who's that?" And then started talking.
Oh, cool.
And she just lit up. The lady just lit up because she was relating to him, and they were talking about just what God's doing and how excited she was. So then I went in this morning, and the young lady said, "Hey, how's she doing? Is she ready to get married?" I said, "I think so. I don't know about him, but I think so." But yeah, God, in community, outside in community around us, God's at work. And spent some time with some pastors this morning. Was able to tell them about what's going on and what God's doing, and it's exciting times. It's exciting to see what God's doing.
Yeah, last week we talked about getting things structured and God just moving through those things. And one of those things I've seen is your office is packed during life groups
Yes.
for next steps recently. You have that your table's full, people are in here, and just talk a little bit about what next step is and what's going on in that class.
Well, next step class it's kind of weird. It's a little organic now. It used to be like a 12-week class, and we realized taking people out of life groups was not the greatest idea because they were doing life together.
Yeah.
So we're on our 3rd week. We don't quite know how long we're going to go. But next step is just sitting down. We're really focusing in on the core values of the church and getting a feel. And we have people from all different backgrounds. They're coming to the church with one singular reason. And this is a shout out to all of you guys, the friendliness of the church. The one thing we learned in that time together, and Amy and I were kind of caught by it, was the fact that all of them watched us online. I think we talked about that last week, but online ministry is affecting some of these things. One of the ladies actually went from that to going to Wedge, and now she's doing Right Now Media, which if you don't have Right Now Media, it's available through the church. It's free. We can get you hooked up with that because she's involved in a Bible study. But next step's just kind of opening up the door and answering questions and giving them a vision of where we're going and what God is doing. And every one of them is involved in a life group already.
That's awesome.
So that's the key, and it just keeps getting more packed and more packed. And just pray, because a lot of people want to join the fellowship.
Yeah, that's awesome. So keep that in mind if you're looking to, get more connected to the church. That the next time around, you can come join Pastor and the other new members to the church. It's really exciting. So last week was joy, and that was a great sermon on just the desire, the joy, the outpouring of Christ that should flow out of our lives, and just how cool that is, and how we should display that as Christians. But this week, what are you talking about this week, and how does that tie in with communion?
Well, it's a perfect sermon for Communion Weekend because it's about peace. And I don't think we can talk enough about peace right now in our culture. And we were with a couple last night having dinner and just talking about a lot of the conflicts and things that are going on around us. And I started talking about the sermon and, God's peace and what he's doing and how he's moving and how we've been called into that peace. We're going to go to Psalm chapter 4 where David's crying out. And we're gonna start in the Psalms and then in Acts. So we're gonna traverse a lot of years there, but just kind of as we've been walking through with hope and love and joy and peace, kind of building a framework where we realize that those are Advent themes, but they're really life themes, and it all ends up at Christ. And as we walk through this, and I would say there thinking as we're preparing the series as we get through the rest of the year. I'm excited about Christmas and Advent again too, because I think these themes are seen all through Scripture, can encourage us in our walk with God and help us become more and more like Him. But this week with peace, as we go into communion, I'm just looking forward to a very reverent time during communion, and not that it isn't, but that preparing our hearts through the sermon to get ourselves ready to be at the Lord's table, the covenant table. We're gonna have we're gonna have that time of communion. And then we're gonna get the table's gonna be moved, and we're gonna have a wedding an hour later. After second service, we're gonna celebrate God's goodness this weekend, and we're gonna talk about the peace that comes, and every sort of oppression, any sort of things that bring us anxiety. God is there, and He's moving, and when we cry out to Him, He'll be there. So excited about what God's doing. We'll see what happens.
All right, cool. Just a couple of quick announcements. If this happens to get up on YouTube before Friday, Dave Kellerman is having the young adults over at his house, Lighthouse, on Thursday night. You can get in touch with him. Missions Sunday, October 10th, we have Mike and Jane Kaufman from Teams coming in. That's going to be a great time. They're going to speak at both services and at least speak to one of the life groups during life group time. They're a great couple who's really passionate about Jamaica, and just I talked to him last week, and they're running a basketball ministry and showing the TV series The Chosen to help bring people into conversations about who Christ is and what that's doing.
And John Heater, the head of Teams, is going to be here that weekend. So if you want to touch base with him, he'll be here, and he's excited about coming.
Yeah. And then October 22nd, we have the Fall Festival. You guys showed up. We're almost have enough trunks for the trunk or treat part. Now we need everybody's favorite October food, candy. Lots of candy.
I love Snickers. Snickers are good.
I'm a Reese's guy myself. Okay. Shameless plug,
Just bring your favorite candy.
If a Reese's and a Coke show up at my door every morning, I'll be okay. But we need lots of candy, and there's still ways to get involved with some of the games inside, registration table, tear down, some of the food. You can talk to myself or Amanda Deering about that, but it's going to be a great night of we're just trying to be present with our community, invite our community and saying we care about you, and just being there with them to show them that we're here, and we're not just a church for our people, we're a church for the community.
And part of that process is you getting out in your neighborhoods, the people and saying, hey, we'd love you to come be a part of a celebration. We're going to have a harvest festival and a harvest night, and just be a part of it, because we need you to help with that so we can get more people out and just really celebrate together with them.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us for another week. There's just, looking ahead, we don't want to give you too much, but we have so many cool things coming up between now and the end of the year. So stay tuned, be on the lookout, look for ways to get involved, look for how God is on the move. And if you have a story of God doing something, share with us. And we'd love to hear about that, and just we'd love to share the stories of what God's up to at the church. So thanks again for joining us this week, and have a great week.
God bless you.